Hi, everybody. It's Judy, and welcome to this week's Monday Mindset theme, which is Mind Hacks to Master Change in a VUCA World. And how many of you have met those people that just seem to glide through change, it just looks effortless for them? Well, they probably have learned about the VUCA world as well as the mind hacks that I'm about to talk to you about. So I'm excited to dive right in. But before I do, I want us to look at this quote by Charles Darwin, where he says, "It is not the strongest of the species that survive, nor the most intelligent, but the ones most responsive to change." And I want to emphasize the word responsive because when we think about being reactive, we're reacting to change, which isn't necessarily the most effective or productive way to deal with change. But when we are responding to change, it's a much more intelligent, fine-tuned leadership way of addressing change. So with that said, I really want to set the stage for what we're dealing with. Currently in our world, we have the volatility. There's that constant cycle doesn't seem to be ending, but there seems to be definite spikes. We notice that there's new elements of change that are impacting us on a daily basis, whether it's an email or a phone call or a new direction or a change in vision, right? That volatility is happening at a much higher rate today than it has in previous decades. And we also know that the uncertainty, there's a level of not knowing how to solve problems because these are new problems that we really haven't solved before. Maybe they're dealing with new technologies that had never existed before. So we're really looking at new things and new changes that need to be made that really seem uncertain. Like this road hasn't been paved before, and we have to actually figure out how to do that. Then we have the complexity element of the VUCA world. And the complexity is just the different levels of whether it's the complexity of relationships, how many people are involved. It seems as though, collaboration is the biggest buzzword, and it's also it's the complexity of data and information. I mean, this internet world just gives us so much access to information and data that the complexity of the problems that we're dealing with just have a new higher level of impact on us. And then lastly, ambiguity. This leaves us to, again, if we haven't seen these problems before, we haven't solved them before, it gives us that sense of unsureness, right? We're not sure what that picture of success is supposed to look like, and we're outside of our comfort zones. This is definitely living as a leader. I truly believe that you give up the right to live in your comfort zone. And this is definitely true because you're dealing with a lot of ambiguity. So let's look at the other side, the flip side of the coin. So if we're looking at our environment of volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity, that is the VUCA environment, that's our world. But if we shift out of victim mode, right, because some of those words are really in the victim mindset. And what I mean by that is we're feeling like, oh, this is all happening to me, versus being in this place of vision, understanding, clarity, and agility as a leader that helps you step into the world of this is happening for me and I can leverage this. Right? This is happening for my advantage. I can leverage this. And that's the victor mindset. So if we think about, if we stay in the volatility, uncertainty, complexity, ambiguity, we're really in that victim mindset. So let's shift over to the victor mindset, the vision, understanding, clarity, and agility. And we're going to dive deep into that right now. So when we think about vision, as a leader, going from the volatility, having a clear vision and being able to communicate it clearly and having a purpose, right? Being able to paint the picture of what is it that we're going to do? How are we going to know when we get there? What does success look like? But also having the purpose, like, why are we doing this? And that really impacts your teams and the people that you work with. Because when you can articulate quickly and easily why you're doing something, it's so much easier to move from the volatility to more vision of saying, okay, this is what the road is going to look like. This is what we're aiming for. So let me give you a quick story or an example. I have a client, Rebecca, who she was a director in a company that she had a brand team. And her brand team was, she basically got a brand new brand team, and she was also dealing with a line extension. So it was an existing brand that had a new feature to it that they were going to be launching. But what she noticed and what became so apparent to her was, as she was in the job for the first couple of weeks, maybe the first month, it's like everybody was not on the same page. And she realized that there was just this sense of them not being able to articulate what success was going to look like. And that was her first task. She really was great at getting people together to say, okay, how are we going to know what success is? And drill down until every person on the team really could understand it so easily. And that actually leads us to the next part, which is understanding. So if we take Rebecca's lead, she really was flexible. She had that ability to take multiple perspectives, and she took the perspectives of people on her team as well as supporting team members. Like maybe they were in market research, or maybe they were in legal, or other areas of the company. But she really got curious, and she stopped and listened before she wanted to move forward. But she also created this sense that all the stakeholders were important and they had this mutual understanding. That really helped her build the trust within her team, that as they were moving forward, even though it was a little scary, right? Because you're dealing with uncertainty and volatility, even though it was going to be a little scary, she really wanted to create this sense of, we're all in this together. We can all understand this. All minds are good. And actually, the smartest person in the room is the room. Being able to collect everybody's perspectives really gives a greater level of understanding. So with that said, as Rebecca led her team, she also was great at expressing herself so that she could have other people follow her. And one of her best things was telling stories. She was great at pulling examples from her past and being able to help other people bring themselves along the journey. And you can do that too. You probably have a million examples of where you've been successful in the past that you can apply to a present complex situation, that you can help make the dots come together, right? Being able to connect the dots so that people can understand, okay, maybe there's some future trends out there, or there's some competitive intelligence, but you can actually pull those complex points of data and information and help the picture become even clearer. And that then can help you create the engagement and action. So when you have a map that people clearly understand what their role is in terms of what they're doing, the action is much more motivated, and you're creating this sense of, we're going to continuously refine this. The clarity is going to come as we move along with every step that we take. Right? I like to think of the analogy too of, driving through a snowstorm. I know I've done that a few times living in New Jersey, and sometimes you only see 50 feet in front of you, however far your headlights can show you in the middle of the night. But the thing is that sometimes that's all you need to do, and you just need to get more clarity and more clarity and more clarity as you move along. And that's what this step is all about. And as I mentioned, Rebecca was a great storyteller, so this skill came really easy to her. Moving along to agility. Agility is that sweet spot of just staying open and leveraging people's strengths and being able to act and respond quickly, right? Not react, but be thoughtful in how you're making decisions and you're coordinating action. This piece is so important, especially for leaders, because you want to be able to anticipate the road ahead. You want to be able to make those shifts. And also, it helps you build that level of resilience. And having that structure on your team that we mentioned before, like when you are the type of leader who goes to the different levels of stakeholders, you're creating that network within a team so that there are not hierarchies, but there are actually networks of people that are working towards a common goal. So I am so excited to share this information with you because I know it's really going to help you become such a more empowered leader and be able to glide through change so much easier because you do have all of those elements. Bottom line is you can have and leverage your ability to have vision, communicate it, gather people and facilitate understanding. Allow that your team knows that clarity will come as you move forward and not expecting to have everything solid and understood right in the moment. Also holding that space for agility, being able to flex and flow. So I wish that for you this week, and so that you will be able to master change, have those mind hacks of mastering change in the VUCA world. Have a great week, everybody, and I hope to see you on Thursday, where we're going to even take a deeper dive on our Facebook Live. So Thursday, Facebook Live, 3:30 p.m. on the Pacific side and 6:30 p.m. on the East Coast. So please log into our Facebook group if you haven't done already. It is the More Than Enough Women's Circle. We look forward to seeing you Thursday at 3:30 p.m. Pacific time. Have a great week, everybody, and I look forward to seeing you on Thursday. Bye-bye for now.